Everybody knows, oh no, no, everybody knows. You can feel it in the air, yeah, it's coming. Everybody knows. It's like a freight train running. Whoa, smash, smash, smash. It's like a freight train running. They love it inside Rec Hall. It's like a freight train running. Haymakers.
Last trouble here, and Penn State wins.
And tonight from Rec Hall, we welcome you to our women's volleyball pre-match show. As tonight, the Penn State women's volleyball team begins a new era under first-year head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley, a former Penn State All-American, takes over the reins after 43 years with Russ Rose in charge, sitting on that bench. And there is the 2022 Penn State women's volleyball team getting set to take the court as warm-ups are underway here this evening from Rec Hall. Brian Tripp, thrilled to be with you. We'll have sights and sounds here pre-match, taking you all the way up until the national anthem and our starting lineups. And tonight's broadcast can be seen on Big Plus tonight. Penn State taking on UConn, beginning just after 7:30. But we're thrilled to have you with us. This is the first of 3 matches this weekend for Penn State as we take a look at the 2022 Penn State women's volleyball schedule. As you can see, UConn kicks it all off tonight, then a doubleheader tomorrow beginning at 11 with Loyola Maryland and West Virginia. Penn State then will be on the road for a couple of weeks before returning home to take on Howard in another one of the home-hosted tournaments. And the Big Ten slate begins on September 23rd against the Indiana Hoosiers. And obviously into that always tough Big Ten. This year, Penn State picked 5th in the preseason in the Big Ten. And the Nittany Lions schedule, as you can see there, gives you a lot of opportunities to join the team and here at Rec Hall and create that unrivaled atmosphere, a part of some of the very best volleyball in the entire country as the Big Ten, the national champions from a year ago. Here is the Penn State women's volleyball team getting set to take the court for warm-ups. 8 newcomers this year, some familiar faces as well. And what an environment here at Rec Hall here tonight as we get to see the women's volleyball team for the first time under head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley. Brian Tripp once again here on set. Zach Gershom, he's a student with us here on GoPSUSports.com this year. And Zach, you had an opportunity to take in some of the matches earlier because this is a loaded field here at the Penn State Invitational.
It definitely is. You said there's no better place to play volleyball. Well, 3 teams got to experience that today: Loyola, West Virginia, and Duquesne. The first contest started bright early in the morning with Loyola versus Duquesne, and Loyola had their way the entire time, sweeping the Dukes 3-0. Lauren Link, you saw her on your screen there, dominant. 16 kills throughout the contest, and Loyola sweeping them in game number 1. Game number 2, Loyola back on the court, this time against West Virginia. This time, though, Brian, 5 sets. The Loyola Greyhounds started off strong, starting 2-1 in the set, and then West Virginia coming back with Adrian L., who had 18 kills in this one. And then game number 3, right before this one, West Virginia versus Duquesne. And once again, the Dukes got swept. West Virginia truly had their way in this one. The only team so far in this Penn State Invitational that is 2-0.
Well, some exciting volleyball action there earlier. And again, Penn State and UConn coming up here at 7:30. I know, Zach, as well, you're also going to have a chance tonight that we can check out on our social media channels later to talk to the president of the Wrecking Crew, the Penn State student section. And looking behind me, seems like it's going to be a big crowd here tonight.
They told them the doors will open at 6:30, and the crowd has been packed since. We only have about a half hour until the game begins, but it looks like game already started with how packed the student section is. What an atmosphere here at Rec Hall so far.
Well, Zach, appreciate it, and we'll check in with you later on. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Zach Gershom with us here, and there is a look at the Penn State bench. Assistant coach Brian Torin as the team gets prepared to take the court for warm-ups here for the first time. It's an exciting roster that Penn State has assembled here in 2022. Again, a team that is under the new direction of head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley, but a lot of the standards for this program remain the same. And there's some of the defensive specialists. There's a lot of players who are going to have an opportunity to play. Maddie Villanovic right there, the junior out of Independence, Ohio, has been a great leader throughout preseason camp. And one of the things that she said has really helped throughout the camp is that everyone is competing on a day-to-day basis and pushing each other to get better. It's been her leadership. In fact, head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley said it's been the leadership of the entire roster that has welcomed in a new era and welcomed in so many new faces. And you can see their joy as they take the court for the first time here for warm-ups. There is Salesa Elisaya, one of the two setters, Katie Herta. We expect to see both of those players in action. And talk about one of the key cogs right there, number 20, Allie Holland, the junior middle blocker out of Hilliard, Ohio. Second on the team last year in blocks per set, and she is joined this year by a transfer from Purdue we expect to see in the starting lineup, Taylor Trammell. There goes Erica Williams by. The middle should be one of the strengths for the Penn State women's volleyball team here in 2022. And a high five there from the head coach, Katie Schumacher-Cawley, for Quinn Menger, a sophomore out of Virginia on the team, who's one of the defensive specialists on the back end. But they're getting their serve pass in right now, and that's something that the coaching staff said really improved throughout the course of the fall, that their serving and passing continued to improve throughout the course of the fall. And the team has worked really hard at getting better and better every day. They're competing hard on a daily basis, and that this is a team that has a little bit of an it factor to it. They've enjoyed competing on a daily basis so much, and it's great to see them on the court here at Rec Hall, all leading up until our first serve tonight, just after 7:30. And again, you can catch that on Big Plus. I'll have the call along with Emma Holtz, and that begins just after 7:30. Well, now we're joined here on the set by someone who is used to going out there and warming up on the court, Emily Shora, who played for Penn State from 2016 to 2019. First match, what's the feeling like, whether you're a freshman or a senior, when you take the court at Rec Hall?
I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling. The gym is loud. I think people are excited to be back. Best time of the year. It's just awesome. You got the band bumping. Everybody's feeling good, warming up. It's a good feeling.
What are the jitters like early in the year?
I think early in the year, especially if you're not used to Rec Hall with the fans and the band, it's a little shaky. You know, it's loud. But you get used to it quick, and you're with your team that you've been practicing all preseason with, so you get comfortable real quick.
How close are you still with the program, and why are you out here tonight?
I mean, I'm still in town. I'm always going to be a huge fan. Katie, I was really close with Katie, you know, all throughout my time at Penn State. And, you know, some of the girls I have a good relationship with too still. And I wanted to watch them play. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're all excited for the match tonight. You talked about you're close with Katie. What do you think makes her a really good coach? Obviously, you had the experience of playing for her when she was an assistant under Coach Rose. But how do you think that will translate into being a head coach here at her alma mater?
Yeah, she was always one of the best support systems that we had, you know, in the gym, out of the gym. She was always there for us. We trusted her. She just had a good relationship with all of us. She was always there for us. And then she also played here, so she has that mentality of she understands the program. She knows what we're going through. She's kind of been there before us, so she's just a really good support system there.
Well, that's one of the things that I think I've been really impressed with, whether it's from talking to players, student athletes on the team now, coaches, alumni from the program. It's that, Coach Rose had an unbelievable winningest coach ever, right? 43 years, 7 national championships. But just because the coach changes doesn't mean the standards for the program change, that it's still Penn State volleyball.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you know, Coach left his legacy, and he changed a lot of lives, and he's taught us a lot of lessons, and like that will obviously never be forgotten. And I love that Katie has always been there with him along the way. So she's been a close ear. She's going to continue that legacy and then also add a little bit of her own to it. So that's really cool.
Okay. What do you think that little bit of her own is going to be?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see what the season holds. We'll see how she interacts with the girls. I'm excited. I think she's going to do a great job.
From your experiences from being around Katie, have you had an opportunity, because you have that close relationship, to talk to her here in the last couple of days leading up to the match tonight?
A little bit. I went to a couple of days of preseason, which was really cool. So I got to see them play a little bit before tonight. And she was figuring out lineups. She was learning the girls. She was just excited about the energy, really. So I got to talk to her, catch up with her. She was feeling good. So. All
right. So because you said that, last question. Give us the scouting report on the team since you've been at practice.
I was honestly very impressed. The transfers coming in, I think, are going to make a huge impact. The freshmen are in it to go. They're working hard. They're pushing each other. I'm excited to see what they do.
Well, Emily, we're really excited to have you on set with us here tonight to kick off a new era for Penn State volleyball. And also, this is our first ever live pregame show at a volleyball match. So Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Emily, it's great to catch up. And now we're going to actually hear from the head coach, Katie Schumacher-Cawley. I had a chance to chat with her just moments ago down on the floor. Coach, you've been a head coach for 9 years at other institutions. You've been through the preseason. What are you feeling right now as you get a chance to be the head coach of your alma mater tonight?
You know, I'm speechless. I'm so excited. I mean, I see the cheerleaders coming in. The band's going to be here. I'm excited for this team to get on this floor and compete.
What about you personally? Nervous at all?
Of course. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm just ready to start warm-ups. That's what I want to do.
Those pre-match butterflies, that's a good thing for your players. How do they harness the energy of the crowd on an exciting night like this to kick off a new year?
There's so many of them that are new that haven't been on this floor, and, they're in the locker room right now getting crazy, and, I think they're excited, and they're going to help each other through the tough parts.
What was your message to them when you left the locker room a couple minutes ago?
It's to compete and to be proud and to, give your all and, play the Penn State way.
Right after this, we're going to go live back up to our set, and your mom's going to be with me. Anything to say to her?
Oh, my God. I mean, she's the best. She's the best. I'm so lucky. Both my brothers and sister-in-laws and their kids all came into town. I'm so lucky for the support I have of my family.
Support for you and also support for the program. Coach, good luck tonight. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
And as we said, they're joined now by Kathy Schumacher, the mom of head coach Katie Schumacher calling. We just heard her message there to you. She's so thankful for all of the support she has here tonight. How many people are here watching and how many people back at home?
We have about 25 here from Chicago that drove or flew, and there's over 100 at a little tavern on the south side, aside from the people in the houses that are watching.
I saw a lot of unique T-shirts for tonight as well.
Yes, one of my daughter-in-law created the little logo, and we had shirts made up, so it was cute.
So talk to me about Katie when she was growing up. When did you know she had an opportunity, maybe, obviously she was a great basketball player too, but an opportunity to play volleyball at Penn State. And you remember the recruiting process with Coach Rose?
I do. I remember him coming to the house with Lori and Mike, and we had dinner, chicken barbecue, and she came on a recruiting trip, and you were having actually a hurricane, the end of a hurricane here, and she came by herself because our motto was, if you want to go there, we're not going there, you're the one. And she came home and she goes, I don't want to go anywhere else but Penn State.
What was it about Penn State?
She goes, it was the atmosphere, it was Coach Rose, it was just the people. She just loved here, and she's thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, just thoroughly.
You've obviously had an opportunity to see her as a head coach before, but to see her as a head coach back here at Penn State tonight, what does that mean to you and your family?
Oh, it's a dream come true for her. And for us, I mean, Coach Rose laid a foundation not only in volleyball, but for women athletes. And his legacy, of course, will never be beat. But for her to kind of step in now and with his support, it's just unbelievable. It's just so moving to see your child do so well and hopefully be successful here too.
Where was she better, on the volleyball court or basketball court?
Actually, a lot of people thought basketball. So it's kind of funny. Yeah. But
What do you think with her demeanor, what will she bring to the program? Because, look, the program's been so successful for so long, and she learned, and I know she's still in touch with Coach Rose on almost a daily basis.
Yes,
so there's going to be a lot of Coach Rose and Katie out here on the court.
Right.
But she's going to put her own fingerprints on it as well. What do you expect from Katie?
She's totally, how can I say?
That's a hard question.
It is a very hard question. She's tough. She's very fair, I think. And not that Coach Rose wasn't either, but I just think that's one of her tremendous traits. She's very fair, but man, she's tough, and it's her way, or she understands, and she's always there. She sleeps with her phone at night, and she's always there for her players. She really is.
What were some of the conversations you had since you got to town with Katie leading into tonight?
She's nervous, and she's excited. She had no idea about the shirts, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're not wearing that, Mom, are you?" And I'm like, "Okay, I didn't wear it. I'm going to wear it tomorrow night, though."
What kind of memories do you hope to take out of tonight?
Tonight, just having all but most of my family's here. My one daughter has 6 children, and they just started school. Her and her husband weren't able to travel. Just being all together, and the people in State College, there's no better place. There really isn't.
And where are you watching the match? Where's your seat? Right behind the bench?
My seat is, no, we're opposite. We're on the angle. We give her the ins and the outs. If the ball's in,
Do you give her a scouting report when you get home too?
Oh, no, her daughter Nora brings a little spiral. And it's just so funny. She'll go, "Mom, they served to number 12 8 times. Did you know that?" I mean, she's really cute.
What's her reaction to that?
Oh, she's like, "Good, Nora. I'm glad you're watching the game and not running the track."
So there's Nora, Stella, right?
And Shay.
And
Yes.
And any volleyball coaches in the future there, do you think?
Oh, I think Stella, she's in 6th grade right now, and she's on the team. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's in 7th grade. Nora's in 6th grade.
Mhm.
Nora's the manager of the team because
Okay.
6th graders can't play. But Stella, she studies that game. I think Stella will be a coach someday.
Well, I think they have a lot of good traits and genes in the family, and
Yeah.
also they have a pretty good coach at home, I think.
Thanks so much.
Kathy, thanks for doing this.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Really,
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Good luck tonight. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
And there she is, the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, Katie Schumacher-Cawley, watching her team go through the final warm-ups one last time. Our broadcast of the match is coming up on Big Plus at 7:30 here from Rec Hall. And we'll see so many new faces on the floor tonight and, of course, on the bench for Penn State. This is not the only Big Plus broadcast this weekend coming here from Happy Valley. Coming up tomorrow morning, don't forget, still at Rec Hall here, it's Loyola Maryland against Penn State at 11 a.m. And then in the nightcap, Penn State completes a doubleheader of volleyball with West Virginia. And then a big tussle in field hockey on Sunday at noon. 9th-ranked Louisville takes on 11th-ranked Penn State, also here in Happy Valley. And as always, you can watch Penn State on Big Plus. But it's been such a thrill here tonight. Matt Wagner and Ross Woomer back in our production room putting this entire broadcast together. Our first ever live pre-match show from Rec Hall for women's volleyball. There's a big swing from Zoe Wetherington on the outside. Here comes Macy Van Den Elzen. This is a really deep and talented Penn State roster, Katie Clark, but they did such a great job of putting this show together leading into our broadcast tonight. So we thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you learned something, and we hope you join us again next time. But my thanks again to our entire production crew, also Zach Gershom and all of our guests. I'm Brian Tripp saying so long. Coming up next on Big Plus, tune in for the first match of the 2022 Penn State women's volleyball season as Katie Schumacher-Cawley makes her debut as Penn State's head coach.